Alright, this is going to be my last motorcycle ride for a while, so gonna make it good. Here we go. I got interested in motorcycle touring during one of my bike tours across Albania in Europe. I was cycling across Albania and up this giant mountain, and these three guys on motorcycles passed me, and we talked for a little while. They were from Russia, and I don't know why, but at that particular moment I thought, I gotta get myself a motorcycle and do one of these motorcycle tours. So as soon as I came home from that bike tour, I bought a motorcycle, learned how to ride, and I've since ridden this bike across North America a couple times. So it's fun, but I think it's way more dangerous than bicycle touring. Motorcycle touring, way more dangerous. The plan for my bike tour this year is to fly from Los Angeles to Boston, and then fly from there to Lisbon, Portugal, where I'll meet up with my friend Kevin, who's flying in from Australia. Together, the two of us will travel by car to central Portugal, and then cycle from there back to Lisbon with a local tour company called Portugal Nature Trails. Once in Lisbon, we'll join a guided tour group with Bike Tours Portugal, and cycle down the coast to the southernmost point of the country. Then we'll jump on a bus or train and travel to Porto, Portugal for the start of our third organized bike tour with Live, Love, Ride, in which we'll cycle east across the country toward Spain. Once in Spain, Kevin and I will be on our own, and we'll cycle north toward the coast and then pedal east into southern France. From there, we'll cross through the tiny nation of Andorra and finish in Girona, Spain. Kevin and I will separate at this point, and my friend Ryan from pausethemoment.com will join me on a week-long bike tour with Touring Catalonia. After the Girona bike tour is over, I'll cycle a short distance south to Barcelona, jump on an airplane, and fly to Tromsø, Norway for the start of 2 back-to-back bike tours with ActiveNorway.com, in which I'll cycle across numerous Norwegian islands and finish in the tiny town of Bodø. Finally, I'll be on my own as I quickly make my way across Norway and Sweden to the city of Umeå, where I'll get on an airplane and fly with my bike and all of my belongings back to Los Angeles exactly 3 months after I first left home. So that's the plan for May, June, and July. It's going to be an awesome trip, I think. What you don't know, however, is that I have not ridden my bicycle more than a handful of times in the last 6 months. And the reason for that is, when I came back from my trip last year, I had just finished a 2-year-long trip, and I finished in Scandinavia. Well, when I came back from that trip, I thought I was going to come and stay with my parents, where I am now in Southern California, for about 2 months, just to visit with my family and my friends in this area. And after that, I was supposed to go to Colombia on a 3-month-long bike tour. Well, several weeks before the Colombia trip, I was taking a shower, and I looked down, and I realized that one of my testicles was bigger than the other one, significantly bigger. It had never been like this before. And I knew in an instant that something was wrong. I waited one day, then I went to the emergency room, waited all day in the emergency room, saw a woman die in front of me while I was there, and at the end of the day they said, "You have cancer." Yeah. And they said, "You need to see a specialist right away," like right away. So the next day, without an appointment or anything, before the doctor had even come in practically to their office, went and saw a specialist. He got me in, ordered a bunch of tests on me, brought me back a couple days later and said, "Yep, you got cancer, and we got to perform an emergency surgery to remove it." So like a week after discovering that I had cancer, I went in for surgery. This was at the end of November. Phone's ringing now. So like 1 week after being told that I had cancer, I went in and had an emergency surgery to remove one of my testicles. I thought it would hurt more than it did, to be honest. It hurt a lot, but it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would be. And so the good thing was I was here at home with my parents, so I had someone to take care of me and drive me home after the surgery and all of that. So that the timing really couldn't have worked out better. The bad part was, 1, I had cancer. 2, I had to cancel my trip to Colombia because my doctor said there was no way you can basically ride a bike right now. And then I spent the next 3 months or so pretty much inside the house. Did not leave the house at all except for to go to the doctor and get more tests done. So yeah, the last 6 months have not been good for me. The crazy thing is, like, I had this cancer. Luckily, it was localized to just one area, as far as I know. I do have to get checked now every 3 months for the next couple of years or so to make sure that the cancer hasn't spread to any other part of my body. But physically, getting over like the surgery and stuff was not that bad. And the crazy thing about getting cancer was, before I got it, I felt great. Like, I came back from my last trip thinking that I was in the best shape of my life. If you go back and watch my videos on YouTube, my Bicycle Touring Pro videos, like, I had cancer when I was in Copenhagen, Denmark, and for the following like 3 months after that, essentially. I was cycling across Scandinavia with testicular cancer. I just didn't know it at the time. So, like episodes 34 through 76, I think, you're looking at a man with testicular cancer riding a bike across Scandinavia. Just putting that out there. The hardest part about getting this cancer diagnosis has been the mental, the not knowing. You know, when I found out I had the cancer in my testicle, okay, I was like ready for them to chop it off that second. But I didn't know, like, had the cancer spread to my, stomach or chest or brain or whatever. And so that is the most scary part about this. And I'm still very paranoid 6 months later now that I'm going to get cancer in some other part of my body. So I'm leaving on this trip this year knowing that I need this bike tour more than I've ever needed any bike tour I've ever done in the past. Like, I need to get out of here. I need to get my mind off of this. I also am probably more scared on this bike tour than I have on any bike tour I've ever taken in the past, simply because, I'm afraid that the cancer could come back. I haven't told many people that I've been going through this. Like, a lot of my close friends have no idea that I have been dealing with this cancer diagnosis for the last 6 months. You know, people see me and they say, "Hey Darren, how you doing?" "Great." "Okay, fine." "Yeah, I'm fine." So that's been pretty interesting. And I wasn't really sure if I was gonna say anything to you guys about this for 2 reasons. One, the location of the cancer is pretty kind of embarrassing. And 2, because I was afraid that some people might see me, somebody that rides a bike, and think, "Shit, that guy got testicular cancer. Lance Armstrong rides a bike, he got testicular cancer. Maybe I shouldn't ride a bike. I might get testicular cancer." All of my doctors have assured me that that is not the case, that my bike riding has had nothing to do with the cancer, that I was simply unlucky, and for whatever reason, the cancer decided to manifest itself there. The other reason I didn't really want to say anything about the cancer
was just because I didn't want you guys to look at me like, I don't know, a cancer patient or something like that. I didn't want to be put in that category. At the same time, though, I didn't want you to think that I'm some kind of like Superman, that I do these bike tours all around the world and man, I must be strong and fearless and whatever. That's certainly not the case. So I guess the main reason I'm telling you about this is because I wanted you to understand where I'm coming from this year, so that when you're watching me on the videos that I'm going to be sharing in the future, you're not just watching some bicycle touring pro hero man ride his bike across Europe. You're watching a regular guy with regular problems ride a bike across Europe and try to make the best of things. So, yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say at this point. Cancer sucks, and I'm looking forward to this trip. I am traveling for the most part on this trip with other people, which I've never really done this much traveling with other people before. I kind of like traveling alone a lot of times, but for this particular trip and this particular time of my life, I think it's a good thing that I'm going to have some friends to travel with me. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and like I said, I look forward to sharing my adventures with you this year. Here on YouTube and on my website at bicycletouringpro.com. See you guys. Bye. When I found out I had cancer, I seriously thought I was gonna die. No joke. I thought maybe I have just a couple weeks left or something. And honestly, one of the first things that came to my mind was maybe I won't be able to ride my bike ever again, or maybe I'll never be able to go on one of these bike tours that I like doing so much. And so I think this bike tour this year is more meaningful to me than any of the bike tours I've done in the past. And I think it's more important that I get back out there and prove to myself that I can do this again. So, yeah, I really love bike touring, and I would be devastated if I could not do it in the future. So, if I've learned anything from my cancer diagnosis, it would be that you should enjoy every moment, wherever you are, and whatever you happen to be doing. I think that's probably my theme this year. Enjoy every moment.